thy kingdom come. Now Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about these men also, saying, Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment on all, to convict all who are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have committed in an ungodly way, and of all the harsh things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Jude 14 and 15. Wow. The book of Enoch was the work of several different writers, and when it was in a relatively wide circulation during the century before Christ's birth. Although a handful of early church fathers believed there was a divine quality to the book, primarily because Jude chose to refer to it, the Christian church has never considered the book to be scripture. We can safely assume, however, that the passage from the book of Enoch that Jude quoted under inspiration is accurate. It highlights an important point for modern Christians to understand. Even though the influence of dispensationalists has made the second coming seem like an event that belongs exclusively to a final generation of believers, it is not. The complete restoration of all things is a hope that has inspired God's people from the very beginning. While it is true that Old Testament believers were looking forward to the first coming of the Messiah, they were ultimately anticipating God's kingdom. It explains why there was confusion about Christ's first coming. By the first century, it was widely anticipated that when the Messiah came, he would overthrow human kingdoms and claim the throne of David as his own. The fact that the Romans, Daniel's fourth kingdom, already ruled over God's people made it easy to believe. And the popularity of the book of Enoch in the century leading up to Christ speaks to the growing sense of anticipation. It is exciting that God, the Son, walked among us in human form. And the astonishing gift of the cross is, of course, indispensable to God's plan to save sinners. But the ultimate hope of God's people throughout the long centuries of our rebellion has been the coming of Christ in glory. The end of our disastrous attempts to rule ourselves and the permanent restoration of the kingdom we rejected in Eden. It is the tie that binds all believers of all ages. And soon enough, when Jesus returns with 10,000 of his saints, we will finally meet the believers who passed forward their hope to our generation and together enjoy the presence of God, where we can share our stories of God's love and mercy forever. And what better time to start practicing those stories than now, as we pass our hope forward to those around us.